Thank you so much for joining me today. It's truly a pleasure to be here with you as we explore a topic that challenges long-held beliefs and opens up new, empowering possibilities. Why living alone after the age of 65 can be one of the smartest and healthiest decisions a senior can make. For generations, we've been told that aging means dependence. That once we reach a certain age, we should move in with family or seek communal living for safety and care. But today, I want to offer a different, more empowering narrative, one rooted not in fear, but in strength, freedom, and wellness. Let's explore 6 powerful, life-enhancing reasons why living alone in later life can be a truly transformative choice. 1. Living alone restores autonomy. There is something profoundly human and deeply life-affirming about being able to make your own decisions. The small, everyday choices we often take for granted. What time to wake up, what clothes to wear, what music to play while sipping coffee, what to cook for dinner, become powerful expressions of self when you live alone. These choices aren't just routines. They're reminders that you are still in the driver's seat of your own life. For many older adults, especially those who have spent decades caring for children, supporting a spouse, or accommodating the needs of others, personal freedom can feel like a distant memory. Over time, the constant giving, adjusting, and compromising can quietly erode one's sense of identity and control. But living alone is like flipping a switch. Suddenly, you're the one setting the tone of your day. You choose the pace. You decide the priorities. You re-establish your boundaries, not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. This renewed autonomy often reignites a sense of self-worth. Many seniors report feeling more alert, more grounded, and more in touch with who they are when they begin living alone. It becomes a form of empowerment, not only emotionally but spiritually as well. And here's an important clarification. Autonomy is not about isolation or rejecting help. It's about having the right to make decisions about how and when that help is received. It's about choosing support on your terms, not having it imposed. Autonomy protects dignity. It nurtures self-confidence. It says, I may be aging, but I haven't stopped being me. When older adults live alone, they often rediscover their voice. The inner voice that was quieted during years of putting others first. That voice begins to speak louder, clearer, and with more purpose. I matter. My needs matter. And I am still capable of leading my own life. In this way, autonomy becomes more than just a concept. It becomes a daily experience of freedom, dignity, and inner peace. 2. A peaceful environment supports mental and physical health. We often underestimate the quiet power of peace. In a world filled with constant noise, interruptions, and overstimulation, simply walking into a quiet room can feel like a breath of fresh air. When you live alone, your home transforms from just a place to stay into something much more profound. A sanctuary, a space where stillness, softness, and serenity live. You're no longer absorbing other people's stress, moods, or habits. You're no longer navigating someone else's chaos or adjusting to someone else's rhythm. Instead, you set the emotional tone. You choose what comes in, the voices, the sounds, the energy, even the lighting. And this freedom to curate your environment has a powerful effect, not just on your mind, but on your body. This kind of peace isn't loneliness. It's healing. Studies show that a quiet, low-stress environment can significantly reduce cortisol levels, the hormone responsible for stress. And when stress levels go down, everything else improves. Sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Digestion works more efficiently. Heart rate and blood pressure stabilize. Memory sharpens and focus improves. Even the immune system gets stronger. Think of it this way. Your nervous system has been carrying a backpack full of pressure, noise, and emotional clutter for years, sometimes decades. Living alone gives your mind and body permission to finally set that backpack down. For many older adults, this is the first time in their lives when they're not on alert. They don't have to manage anyone else's emotions. They're not constantly anticipating interruptions or tension. Instead, there is space to breathe, to pause, to simply exist in a state of calm. And within that calm, something beautiful happens. Clarity, centering, healing. Some seniors even rediscover the pleasure of silence, realizing it's not an emptiness to be feared, but a fullness to be embraced. In silence, we think more clearly. We reflect more deeply. We feel more connected to our inner world. A peaceful environment is not a luxury. It's not a selfish choice. It's a vital foundation for well-being, especially in later life, when the body and mind are craving rest and renewal. So when a senior chooses to live alone, they're not choosing isolation. They're choosing restoration, a chance to build a life that feels gentle, spacious, and whole. 3. Freedom to create your own routine. There's a special kind of peace that comes from living life on your own schedule. When you live alone, your days begin and end according to your body's natural rhythm, not someone else's alarm clock or obligations. You can wake when you're rested, not rushed. You can eat when you're hungry, not when someone else decides it's mealtime. You can pause when you're tired or stretch, read, nap, walk, just because it feels right. And that kind of freedom? It's not indulgent. It's restorative. For many seniors, life has been lived for others. Raising children, supporting a spouse's career, caring for aging parents or grandchildren, adjusting to caregivers or roommates in later years. It's been a life of adapting, adjusting, and putting others first. But now, living alone opens the door to something profoundly healing, the ability to follow your own flow. This self-directed rhythm does more than feel good. It creates balance across every dimension of your well-being. Physically, it allows your body to regulate itself naturally, improving digestion, energy, and sleep. Mentally, it reduces the stress that comes from constant adjustment and negotiation. Emotionally, it builds a sense of harmony because you're finally honoring your own needs instead of ignoring them. And here's the beautiful part. When you begin living in tune with yourself, your habits change too, almost effortlessly. You may find yourself walking more because it clears your mind, eating more mindfully because you're present in the moment, sleeping better because your evening routine is calming instead of chaotic, creating small rituals like tea at sunset, morning stretches, or journaling after breakfast that bring a quiet joy to your days. This freedom to shape your own routine is not about disconnecting from the world. It's about reconnecting with yourself. It reminds you that your needs, your timing, your way of being matter. And that self-honoring lifestyle? It doesn't just improve the day-to-day, it transforms your entire relationship with aging. Because growing older should never mean giving up control. It should mean finally gaining it, in ways that are gentle, empowering, and deeply personal. For building confidence and emotional resilience. There's something quietly powerful about doing things on your own. It might be simple, like changing a light bulb, preparing dinner, or balancing your budget. But every time you do, you send a message to yourself. I can still do this. I am capable. I am strong. This is how confidence is rebuilt, not through grand gestures, but through small, steady acts of self-reliance. Living alone gives older adults the space to reconnect with their own resourcefulness. It's not about doing everything perfectly, it's about rediscovering the belief that you can figure things out, that you can adapt, make choices, solve problems, and manage life, not because you have to, but because you still can. And this growing self-trust? It becomes the foundation for something deeper, emotional resilience. Resilience doesn't mean being unshakable. It means knowing you'll be okay, even when life throws curveballs. It means having the inner strength to face changes, losses, or uncertainties, and still move forward with grace. Here's the beautiful truth. Each task you complete, each challenge you overcome, no matter how small, becomes a victory. Booking your own medical appointment, learning to use a new device, organizing your space in a way that brings you peace, handling a quiet evening alone with confidence instead of fear. These are not just chores. They are acts of empowerment. And over time, they build something no one can take from you. A deep, grounded sense of pride. That pride is your emotional armor. It protects you from self-doubt, from the false idea that aging means becoming helpless, or invisible, or irrelevant. It reminds you, you're still in the driver's seat. Living alone, then, is more than a lifestyle choice. It's a path to remembering your own strength. It's a quiet declaration. I am still growing. I am still evolving. I am still me. 5. Reduced emotional friction and social pressure. Let's be honest, living with others, whether it's family, friends, or roommates, can sometimes bring more than just companionship. It can bring tension, negotiations, and the weight of expectations. The constant adjustment to another person's habits, needs, or moods can be emotionally exhausting, even when we love them dearly. Living alone removes that layer of emotional friction. There's no one to argue with about the TV remote, no one to comment on what you're eating or when you go to bed. You no longer have to worry about stepping on someone's toes or compromising your own desires to fit into someone else's routine. This absence of social pressure allows you to breathe easier. It eases the strain on your nervous system, allowing for a more peaceful, clear mind. Without the constant undercurrent of interpersonal tension, you can hear yourself think. For seniors who have spent years navigating the complexities of family dynamics, caregiving responsibilities, or the challenges of shared living, the relief of solitude can be profound. It offers the chance to step back and ask yourself, what do I want, without needing to consider anyone else's wants or needs. This doesn't mean you'll become isolated. In fact, it often improves the quality of your relationships with others because you can engage with them from a place of calm and self-assurance, not stress and depletion. Living alone gives you the freedom to choose when and how to connect with others, on your own terms. You can invite friends over without worrying about who will be home, or pick up the phone for a chat when you feel like it, rather than out of obligation or routine. But perhaps most importantly, living alone provides emotional clarity. You're no longer reacting to the emotional needs of others. There's no passive tension or unspoken expectations weighing on your shoulders. Instead, you have space to connect with yourself, to understand your emotions, and to practice emotional self-regulation. In short, living alone creates the conditions for emotional freedom. You are free to experience your emotions fully, without judgment or interference. And when you do engage with others, you bring the best of yourself, grounded, centered, and free of the clutter of social expectations. 6. Deepened self-connection and inner growth. Solitude, when embraced consciously, becomes a powerful tool for self-discovery. In the quiet of your own space, away from the distractions of other people's lives, you have the rare opportunity to reconnect with your inner self, the person you were before life's roles and responsibilities took center stage. For many seniors, living alone presents the chance to reflect, to look inward and understand who they are beyond the labels of parent, spouse, or caregiver. You're no longer defined by the demands of others. Instead, you can rediscover your true essence, what brings you joy, what excites you, and what truly matters to you. This process of self-rediscovery can be incredibly enriching. You may start new hobbies, revisit old passions, or find creative outlets that you never had time for. For example, you might pick up painting, write in a journal, or explore new ideas through reading or learning online. In solitude, you also have the freedom to explore your spirituality, reflect on your life's purpose, and deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. Whether through meditation, prayer, or simply quiet contemplation, living alone can open the door to profound inner growth. Many seniors report feeling more connected to their spiritual selves and more attuned to the things that bring them peace. And this is not about turning inward to the point of isolation or withdrawing from life. It's about making space for growth. Living alone allows you to cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself, while also developing the emotional tools to engage with others more authentically when you choose to. By giving yourself the gift of solitude, you are also offering yourself the space to heal, to evolve, and to live more in alignment with your own truth. It's a chance to let go of old narratives, to unburden yourself from the expectations of others, and to finally live life on your own terms. Final thoughts. Living alone after 65 is not a retreat. It is a powerful step forward into a life that is fully self-determined. It's a decision that signifies freedom, empowerment, and a renewed connection to yourself. For so long, society has conditioned us to believe that growing older means relying more on others, and perhaps even giving up our personal space. But living alone challenges this idea. It's a choice to reclaim your space, your time, and your autonomy. It's about knowing that independence can be maintained, and even enhanced, later in life. It's about recognizing that you deserve peace, the freedom to grow, and the ability to make decisions without compromise. Living alone does not mean isolation. It means intentional solitude, a place to heal, to reflect, to rediscover, and to live with greater purpose. It's not about being alone. It's about having the space to truly be yourself. If you or someone you know is considering living alone in the later stages of life, I urge you to consider the possibilities, the freedom this choice can bring. Ask yourself not just, will I be safe? But, will I feel free? Will I be able to thrive? Will I find peace? Living alone after 65 is a choice that can bring joy, growth, and a renewed sense of purpose. It's a journey of self-respect, self-empowerment, and ultimately, living fully on your own terms. Thank you for listening today. Remember, growing older isn't a reason to lose independence. It's a time to embrace it fully, freely, and fearlessly.